Wednesday podcast. It's your girl Danie, and on this week's episode, I did want to go ahead and discuss functional relationships and how I'm moving into a space in my life where I'm no longer accepting relationships to whatever capacity that no longer serve a purpose for me and for where I am and where I'm trying to go in life. Now, I do understand that a broad statement like that may come off as very selfish or self-centered, but when you get to a point in your life where you understand that things need to change in order for you to grow, you start to evaluate, what can I do different, or where am I lagging in certain situations? And that's the space that I feel like I'm in at this point. And if I'm being honest, I truly feel like I can no longer accept relationships that serve me no purpose. And when I say relationships, I mean friendships, I mean dating, I mean acquaintances, any type of situation where I'm putting myself in contact with another person. If I feel like the energy isn't good, or if reciprocity is missing, then I have to remove myself, or I have to dial back, because I'm a type of person who's extremely consistent. I'm someone who's always wanting to make sure everybody else is okay and doing well, and then in return I don't get that same respect. You know what I'm saying? I'm on that keep that same energy type of vibe these days. Now, when I say that, I mean in terms of giving my time to a Zoom call or a in-person meetup, a phone call, anything like that. If it's not serving me in a positive way, or in a way that it's not discrediting myself or the things that I truly believe in, then I have no energy or time for it. And I realize that I pour a lot into people who don't pour into me. Or I'm always so worried about how everyone else is doing and how everybody else's well-being, and making sure that I'm doing what I have to do to keep in contact and communicate with people who can go days and weeks and months and don't even care to pick up the phone or to call or text me or to see how I'm doing. And that's a lot, especially from someone who's an empathetic person. I've said that before, like in an episode. I'm an empath, and I always just want to make sure that everybody else is doing well. And I feel like in return, I'm kind of draining myself, and it affects the way I'm moving and trying to navigate through life too. So when I think about the things that I want in life and where I'm trying to be, I realize that I do have some really, really solid people in my life who are like ride or die. Now, granted, I can count them on one hand, and that's okay. You know, don't need a whole bunch of people. You just need the right people. And that's what I've learned. But I also feel like there's a lot of relationships that aren't serving any purpose for me, and then they have to go. And I'm okay with that now. I'm at a point in my life where I'm okay with losing people and not taking it personal. I hope that makes sense and that it's relatable, because I'm always somebody who like, oh, well, let's fix it, or this person has an issue, but only that person knows what the issue is. And trying to, you know, as they say, beat a dead horse. I have no energy for that anymore. I'm going to be who I am. I'm going to pour love into the people who pour love into me, and allow those who have shown that they're here for more than just a season, that I appreciate them. Like, my goal is only functional relationships from here on out. And I'm saying that because even in conversations with people, I understand that I'm always someone that people want to go to when they're having issues, or they need help with something or advice on things like that, which is cool and all. I respect and appreciate that people consider me, for the most part, like a level-headed person in that sense. But at the same time, if I reach out to you and, make an effort to check in and see how you're doing, and you don't even ask me at one time, what's up with you, how you doing, where you been, that's a problem for me. And I've been noticing a lot lately that a lot of people had to go. And I am so okay with that. I wish people well. I can see you from a distance and be happy with that. And I just feel like this year's circumstances and people have shown me that my way of being caring, compassionate, and supportive is not necessarily the way that they want to receive it, in a sense. Because I'm always someone who's, if you're my friend, I want to hear from you all the time. I'm not saying you have to text me or call me and be with me every day, but I'm consistent. And there are people who will vouch for that. I'm someone who always checks in with my friends and always makes sure everybody's straight. But then in return, people don't reciprocate that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not always received well. And days will go by and I can be like, you know what, let me just back off and see if this person is going to take the initiative to reach out to me first. And 8 times out of 10, they don't. So I'm in a space now where I used to be so offended by that, and it used to really hurt my feelings. And I couldn't understand why. And then it took me some time to grow and to learn that everybody isn't like, that's not everybody's vibe. Some people are okay with going days and weeks days and weeks without speaking to people, but they still feel like it's all love. And I don't really feel like that type of inconsistency works well with the way I am as a person. Like, the things that I hold near and dear to me. So I feel like I've been conditioned this year, especially, to accept the things that I felt I took pride in to be kind of a flaw too. And I'm not really sure how to maneuver that other than to just take people how they are and accept them where they are in life. Because, like I said, I used to be really, really offended when people would just go days and days without talking to me. And like, if you rocking with me and if I'm riding with you, how can you go all of these days and not even make sure I'm straight, but you care about me? Those two things don't seem to match up in my mind. I feel like there's a disconnect somewhere. But everybody is different. I do understand that everybody has things going on in their life, and they might not have time to tap in when they have kids involved and they have families and things like that. But I'm like, my level of consistency is not really received well. Well, it's received well. I won't say it's not received well. It's received well. It's just not reciprocated. So I've been conditioned to be a person who has to fall back from people and to be okay with not speaking to someone I consider a friend for a month in time. And I'm not really sure I like it. It's making me uncomfortable, and I just have to figure out a balance or a way to not take that so personally. Because, like I said, I guess I'm just a little bit different when it comes to things like that. So my whole outlook on how I communicate with people has changed in a nutshell. And that's what I wanted to talk about. Like, functional relationships are the only thing that I feel like, well, I'm not going to say the only thing. Functional relationships are high priority for me. Like, I'm giving my energy to the people, and I'm giving my energy to the people who I feel like deserve it the most, and everyone else is like, I'll see you when I see you. It's all love. I'll see you from a distance, but don't expect me to be that person anymore who's always making sure you're straight and always taking the initiative to make sure that we stay in contact, because in the end I just realized that I'm only really hurting myself when I decide to give the communication or consistency a rest and lets that other person or that other party, step up and try to fill in some of those gaps where I decide I'm just not going to reach out, and it's not happening. So functional relationships only. We are moving into a space, and when I say we, I mean me. I'm just moving into a space where I'm doing all the things that I want to do, and unapologetically at that. I'm just on this pursuit of happiness that is not going to allow me to move the way I used to move with people. And for that, I'm excited, but it also gives me a little bit of unease. So we'll see how it goes. As always, I thank you guys for tuning in. Let me know what you feel about this and what your experience has been like with your relationships. And when I say that, I mean all types. A spouse, a friend, an acquaintance. I just group relationships all together in this for the sake of this topic. And let me know what your experience has been like with that, and have you found yourself being more well off with that type of attitude, or, well, I'm not going to say attitude, that type of decision, or are you kind of struggling to maintain contact and communication with people in spite of? But let me know what you guys think. As always, thank you for tuning in, and I will see you next week.